With Percy Jackson incoming and now the Kane Chronicles movies, there is a lot happening in the Riordanverse. But I think the question that everyone is starting to have now is, what comes next? What is up, guys, and welcome back. Now, obviously, I am super hyped for the Percy Jackson TV show and now also the Kane Chronicles films, and oh my goodness, there's been a lot of talk. Finally, the Kane Chronicles are also getting the attention and love that they deserve. There are lots of people already theorising about what the films could be, whether it's animation, live action, and same goes for the Percy Jackson TV series as well. There are Reddit servers for both of them and lots of people talking about all the different things that they're interested in seeing, theorising about who could possibly play the parts or what could be included in the series. But a question that lots of people are bringing up, especially since the announcement of the films, are what series will be adapted next? And honestly, just from how it's all going, I don't really think we're going to have another announcement. And that is because of the fact that Percy Jackson and the Kane Chronicles are pretty original in and of themselves. Percy Jackson is the start of the Riordanverse. Without Percy Jackson, you can't have Heroes of Olympus, you can't have Trials of Apollo, and you can't have Magnus Chase either. Kane Chronicles themselves are kind of their own story. While there is a hint of Percy Jackson in the final book and here and there throughout the books themselves, we don't actually have any of the characters appear in the stories themselves. So they're able to be a story contained in that single universe with just hints of something else outside of it, which is why Netflix was probably able to get it with relative ease without having to worry about Disney kicking up a fuss. And as a channel that I've seen recently, mentioned by the channel LaRon Reads, which is a brilliant channel by the way, I'll link it down below, the Percy Jackson books, they are the only ones that Disney has the rights for because that is what Fox got the rights for. But with the characters in Percy Jackson featuring in every series, in Heroes of Olympus, in Trials of Apollo, and in Magnus Chase, really, they're kind of the only company who probably could take on the film television rights for that particular series, whereas Kane Chronicles, like I said, doesn't really feature any other characters within that Kane Chronicles series, other than the miniature stories that we get of demigods and magicians. That's not part of the trilogy, so it kind of doesn't, you don't really have to worry about it, I guess, is the thing here. But to go on to what will probably follow after, and that is most likely going to be Heroes of Olympus, because especially with how the universe works, you kind of need Heroes of Olympus first before anything like Trials of Apollo or Magnus Chase. And Disney is most likely going to be that company, but it will only depend on whether or not Percy Jackson, the TV series, does well. If it doesn't take off, it is unlikely they will carry on the series in television or film format, which means if Percy Jackson doesn't do well, we probably won't get Heroes of Olympus unless Disney sells the rights, or Magnus Chase, or even Trials of Apollo. And Magnus Chase, unfortunately, is one that lots of people really do want, and it's something I've been seeing popping up here and there. And the unfortunate fact is, not only will Disney have to do it, because they will have the rights to the character names as well, and with Annabeth Chase featuring in the first book, Annabeth and Percy featuring in the last one as well, you kind of can't use characters from another company that have the rights to it in another company. So Amazon Prime, for example, probably couldn't take on Magnus Chase unless they change the story and not have Annabeth and Frederick and Percy, and probably can't even have the Chase name either. It will depend whether or not Disney is flexible, and this is Disney, guys, so probably not. The main thing really is, if the Percy Jackson series isn't successful, we probably won't see the rest of the books adapted. So really the support there is desperately needed when the series comes out. Of course, if it goes downhill and a break situation happens with Rick as well, where he doesn't have the same amount of freedom that he seemed to think there was going to be initially, and obviously nothing's happened there, it seems he's very much involved, the support of the series is going to be needed, both with the TV series and the films. I know the films is going to be Netflix, and it's not going to really hinder the possibility of future adaptations of Heroes of Olympus, etc. But the Kane Chronicles deserves the same amount of support as the Percy Jackson TV series does. So yeah, really everything hinges on how well the Percy Jackson TV series does, and the Kane Chronicles are going to be perfect as they are, but depending on how well it goes. But Magnus Chase for now, which is something I know a lot of people were wondering about, probably not going to get an announcement about that for a very, very long time. But what do you guys think? Are you excited all the same for the series and the films? And do you hope that the Percy Jackson TV series takes off well enough to get everything adapted? And if so, what do you think should be adapted next? It's probably going to be Heroes of Olympus, but who knows? Maybe we'll get the mini books as well, like Percy Jackson and the Singer of Apollo, or even the Demigod Files stories. Sort of many things like that. Who knows? Whatever the case, let me know in the comment section down below. I want to thank you guys so much for joining me for this small little video. I appreciate your watching. Go to the description box to check out my social media, my merchandise store, and my Patreon, where if you can support me, that is the place to do it. But if you can't support me with money, please do hit the subscribe button and the notification bell if you haven't already. Again, thank you so much for watching, and I will see you guys next time.